Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams and welcome to your reading. I am so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. Ashe. Thank you, Divine. You've got exactly what you need to do what your soul brought you here to do. You have everything that it takes. I'm hearing you have just what it takes. Like exactly. Because it's like, it's a very fine line between being what you need to be to fulfill your dreams and your calling, and being what everyone else says that you should be or thinks that you should be. It's a very fine line, but you have exactly what you need. You are everything that you need to be, and you have it inside you. 1, 2, 3 on the timer. Also, your flame cannot be extinguished. It was hard for me to blow out that flame. It took a little extra effort. So there's something about your tenacity, your resilience. And even though that's something that is very desirable, like a lot of people wish that they had your willingness to keep going, it's something that gets a lot of hate, because when other people see you doing what they wish they could do, you know how it goes. There are people who will be like, oh my gosh, I'm so inspired by you, but then there are a lot of other people who choose to be stuck in a state of insecurity when they see you doing what you're called to do and what you're driven to do. So don't let that get to you. That's about them. It's not about you. Okay? If you see me sweating during this reading, it's because it's hot. We have AC in here, but this room is just hot because it gets a lot of sunlight, which is good. And I opened the curtain a little bit to let in a little more light than I usually do. But I do have my fan. So I might have to be like a little old lady in a Baptist church. You know, just keeping myself cool. Because it is a little warm. Something's heating up for you though. That is important here. Something's heating up for you. In a good way. It's not pressure. It's not pain. It's passion and inspiration, and it's something that's heating up as a result of the work you've been doing. Yeah, your dedication. Ashe, thank you, Spirit. What's coming through for this beautiful being? Sorrow. What's going on with this sorrow here? Stress, experiencing. The Rebel and healing. So this is what you have been through, is the sorrow, the stress. But what came after that was like, you know what I'm seeing is like when you get to a point where you just can't take it anymore. You know? Like you just get so tired of feeling a certain frequency where you're like, okay? So there was a time of sorrow. There was something you went through that felt heavy and dark. But I'm hearing that song, Nat King Cole. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, don't you blow your top. Oh, 444 on the timer. It's like you just got to a point where you couldn't take anymore. You reached your limit. And I posted a short a few days ago And it was talking about our emotional bandwidth. We don't have an unlimited bandwidth, okay? We do have a limit to what we are emotionally able to take. Everybody has a limit, and everybody has a breaking point. And what breaking point means to you might mean something different to another person. But it's where, at the very least, we reach our limit in a way that we just can't keep going on in the same way. There has to be a change. We have to make a change. And that's what this stress and this sorrow led you to. So it was kind of like you just said no more. And whatever frustration you were feeling, whatever darkness you were feeling, you allowed it to just sail away, sail away, sail away. I'm seeing that. It's like you distanced yourself from something. Also, sail away, it's like, you know, the water. You allowed yourself to just float and go with your inner flow, you know? Perhaps there were things and vibes, frequencies all around you that you were like, I can't tune into that anymore. I have to align with my divine flow. That's what you chose to do. And you just started experiencing. Whereas before, maybe you were pushing, maybe you were stressing, okay? Trying really hard to make something fit, or even to figure something out. There's something that didn't work out because it wasn't supposed to. But you are coming into a state of peace with that. You realize that that was the plan. The plan wasn't to make something fit or to make it work or to get this thing together. It was just to let it go. And there's something you had to go against with the rebel energy. I'm getting Aquarius energy because they are the rebel of the zodiac. I get rebellion from other signs as well, kind of like Aries. I feel like there's a rebellious nature with Aries sometimes, you know, depending on the person and depending on where they are, and just their vibe, their individual vibe, right? But I'm getting Aquarius energy, Aries energy. You chose to just be you, you know, that individuality is coming through with Aries. You chose to go against the grain. You chose to be who you choose to be. Because it is a choice. One thing that's really amazing about what you've done is you chose to be authentic when not a lot of people in your realm have been doing that. But I do get that there's someone who's inspired you. It could be someone that you knew in your youth. It could be someone who you saw as a mentor, or they might not even be in your life right now, currently. I'm getting like past energy, but it's somebody who you are inspired by. It might not even be someone that you know personally. It could be an artist, a music artist, a vocalist. I'm seeing like a singer in a band. Okay, there might be somebody in a music group who inspires you, but you love their rebellious nature. You love their ability to just be themselves. But there's someone in your life who has inspired you. And so 9/11 on the timer, you, with whatever this was that you were going through, I feel like you didn't have a lot of inspiration in that moment of people that you knew, people that were in your realm at that time to feel inspired by. You know, there was a lack there. I'm seeing a void. But you drew upon strength that you had experienced or come to know at another time in your life. And you were able to do something so amazing because you allowed that inspiration to flow through you and motivate you to be your authentic self. And so this has led to a lot of healing. A lot of healing all throughout you. So when I say all throughout you, what I just saw there was all throughout your chakras, all throughout your aura, all throughout your spirit, body, mind, soul. I'm seeing parts of your soul that were fragmented just coming back to you in such a beautiful, pure state. It's like whatever aspects of yourself were out there, because maybe at some point in time in the past you had given somebody your energy, or you had opened your auric body up to someone who they hadn't earned that place in your life, in your world, in your realm. But the work that you were doing on yourself and your choice to be authentic to you, that sent out healing energy to whatever fragments of you were out there. And so it's like you were calling back your power, you were calling back your energy, you were calling back aspects of yourself to come back to you. But as they were coming back to you, they were being purified. 11:11 on the timer. So your choice to be authentic opened up a portal to restoration of yourself, yourselves, okay? Also aspects of your inner child that maybe you had momentarily forgotten about or left behind or tried to push away. You began to embrace all aspects of you. And so you're becoming this beautiful whole version of you. And all I got to say is to anybody around you, they better look out, because whatever version of you they were observing in the past, they ain't seen nothing yet. Like, you have always been powerful. You have always been a miracle, a walking miracle, a living, breathing miracle. And when I say walking, I'm not necessarily meaning like physically. I'm talking about your spiritual walk, like whatever you do every day, just your being, your actions. You're a miracle. But this current version of you is really, it's mind-blowing. And you are already blowing people's minds. You're presenting to them what can happen when you choose yourself. When you choose to become whole. And to not forsake or neglect certain aspects of yourself because maybe there's shame there, or maybe there's pain there. It's almost as if you psychically went back and scooped up every aspect of yourself from your past, present, and future. Okay, because what is time anyway, you know? And you said, come on. And it was the ultimate act of self-acceptance and self-love. Okay? This is very inspiring to a lot of people. People that you might not even realize are being inspired or feeling inspired by you. And what I'm seeing is like there's static, right? Okay, so the static is the people who came through briefly before. The people who are like, or very critical, okay? Because anybody who's on to something, anybody who's really making a positive change in the world or in themselves, right? Because when you make a positive change in yourself, you are changing the world. And that is very significant. That is very significant. Divine says, please don't ever belittle or look down on the work that you've done on yourself or that you do on yourself, because when you heal yourself, you heal the world. Real talk. I'm feeling this with every fiber of my being right now. Very important for you to know that. Okay? So whatever criticism or disdain you've sensed or picked up on or just straight up experienced with other people, if you can see that as a sign that you're exactly where you need to be, it's almost like sometimes the hatred is a confirmation. Sometimes the destructive criticism is a confirmation. Because there are certain low vibing energies that are just so put off by your acceptance of yourself, your choice to honor yourself and your journey. So yeah, okay, thank you, Spirit. What's up next? What are we doing? Where are we going? Okay, I didn't mean to, but this elemental hexing card, I picked that up. So someone was trying to impact you, but in a negative way with energy. But your good luck is here to stay. I'm hearing, our love is here to stay. There's something about your world that is so beautiful and pure and innocent, and that's never going to change. Like, it's unshakable. And I feel like, okay, I'm looking at my Neptune poster. So that elemental hexing, there's somebody who wanted you to see the beauty of your life in a twisted light. Twisted light. Like, they wanted you to see what's great, what's magical, what's divine as terrible. Somebody wanted you to walk away from your blessings. Somebody wanted you to walk away from everything that is beautiful and divine in your life. Your gifts. They wanted you to give up on your gifts. I was watching an episode last night of The Middle. I had mentioned that show before. I kind of like it though. It brings up a lot of important topics on relationships and family dynamics and society and everything. But it was an episode where the mom was returning a gift to the store that her kids had gotten her for Mother's Day. And I was kind of like, that's so messed up, because they went through so much work to get her something that was truly from their heart, something that they wanted to bless her with. But that's what I'm seeing here, is that somebody wanted you to like take the divine gifts that were blessings from the cosmos, from source, and like take them back to the store. Like, no, I don't want that. What? That's what they wanted you to do, was to give up on your blessings. Well, we got the Wheel of Fortune, Strength, and Six of Swords. I love this because the Emperor's there too. This place of sorrow, stress, and all of that, you've moved on to the Six of Swords, but it's because of a conscious choice that you made, or I'm hearing a series of conscious choices that you've made, not just one choice. This is your strength. This is your ability to determine for yourself where you're going. Okay, and that's balanced with divine alignment and just divine energy that just kind of takes us to where we need to be, right? There is choice that we have. There are choices that we are able to make. And I love how the Strength card speaks to our daily choices that we make regarding our body, regarding our actions. When we're pulled in a direction that doesn't serve us, we can go skirt and go where we know that we should be. And so there's this balance of being free and doing what you feel like you want to do and what's right for you. We balance that with, okay, this is what I'm desiring right now, but does this serve me? There is a balance, you know. Everything in spirituality, healthy spirituality, is about balance, you know. And this takes you to the Wheel of Fortune. This is your destiny. This is what you're meant to experience in this life. But in order to get to the stuff that's so purely magical that nobody could have ever foreseen, right? It's just what your soul had planned for you. And I'm seeing that to a lot of people, it was a secret. It was like some things are coming up for you that you couldn't predict, because it was meant to be a surprise. But the way that you get to that really great magic that you had not predicted and no one had predicted is that you made wise choices. And you're making wise choices despite the fact that somebody wanted to steer you in the wrong way. You knew better, and you know better. This leads you to the Ten of Cups. What? Emotional harmony and fulfillment. And this is harmony and fulfillment that's true. I saw something that somebody said or wrote the other day, and it said that, you know, like when you heal and you get to a certain place in life where you have faced your truth, you have embraced your authenticity, and you're not faking the funk anymore for people just to put up a facade or wear a mask. Like, it literally feels like you're allergic to that at a certain point, because you just can't do it. You can't be fake, and you don't like being around fakeness. So what happens a lot of times with people on the spiritual path, and I feel like there's something here about this with you on your path, where the same things you used to do around people to, you know, play the social game. Not that you were ever playing games, but we all do that at some point. You know, it's like we smile when we don't feel like smiling, or we laugh when we don't feel like laughing. We put up with things in a social group just to keep the peace, right? And what this person said was that most people in society go for harmony. And they put quotes around harmony, because really without truth and authenticity, there is no true harmony. But they want togetherness, right? And harmony. But they don't support truth. They want harmony, they want togetherness, they want everybody to just get along and play by the script and all of that. But they don't want truth. A lot of times people in society don't want to know who we really are. They just want to see us smiling and being nice and, you know, doing all that. But there's something about this here with this Ten of Cups. It is so authentic. It is so real. Also, I'm seeing, because that 1111 came through, I'm seeing that there's a portal that's opened up to, like, just love. And I'm not necessarily, this might apply to you as far as romantic love is concerned. If so, wonderful. But it's just the frequency of love. Like, you have reached it. You are love. You feel like love to people. And because you're vibing on the frequency of love, which is the most divine frequency there is, you are drawing in, attracting truth and authenticity. There are certain beings that you're going to become aware of and that you're going to connect with that feel so real to you. It's like their energy just feels so good because they're a reflection of you. And you feel good. You are love. So that's what you're experiencing now. But this Ten of Cups is like, I'm seeing this as the most beautiful Ten of Cups I've ever seen, because it's the result of work that you've done on yourself. It's a result of you choosing to connect with the divine when you have everything else around you to choose from. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing, like, the reason why you're experiencing this Wheel of Fortune is because around you was a wheel of options. Okay? And you could have picked evil, you could have picked chaos, you could have picked demons, you could have picked lust, you could have picked greed, pride. You had all of those options. And while you saw people picking all of those things and choosing to vibrate there, you were like, no. That's why you're seen here as the rebel. Because you were surrounded by so many awful options and you saw people choosing that stuff. And you were like, no. I'm hearing come hither. There's somebody who really wanted to get into your energy, but it's like they were trying to reel you in. It may have felt, this is coming through, okay, I'm channeling here. It may have felt that either with a person or a group or something that they were trying to get into your energy, but what they were really trying to do was reel you in. I'm seeing like a, isn't that a thing people say in fishing, hook, line, and sinker? Like they were fishing for you. And they just wanted you to take the bait. They wanted you to take the bait. Yes, yes. I'm seeing like a worm. You know how they use worms to, I've only been fishing one time. I want to go again, but so I don't know a lot about that, like the lures and the baits and stuff. But I'm seeing a worm, and that is what they wanted you to be so lured by. So there is a particular action that they wanted you to take, or is something they wanted you to do. They wanted you to burrow in their world, their society. Oh my. Okay, okay. So whatever this was, it could have been a Ten of Cups reversed. That's why you have earned the Ten of Cups upright, because this could have been a Ten of Cups reversed. This could have been a cult or an organization, a group where they wanted your energy. This is literally what I'm hearing. They would have gotten mad points for you, for your energy. Mad point, you know, like lots of points, you know. But there might be somebody here who talks like that, like mad. It was mad good. It was, you know, something like that. Maybe somebody who tries to be cool, somebody who tries to be attractive. The word lure keeps coming through, so there could have been somebody here who was trying to reel you in. Yeah, come hither, come hither. So somebody could have tried to bait you with sensual energy. What's coming through here, Spirit? Love and the moon. So somebody was trying to use something very dark about something that looked like love. I'm hearing it looked like love. It smelled like love, but it won't love. We have High Priestess of Fire and Complicated. Somebody was trying to use the energy of their, okay, sacral chakra is water, but I'm getting that. They were trying to use fire. Okay, so from their sacral chakra to their solar plexus, they were very driven. That's fire, solar plexus. They were trying so hard to motivate you, to push you into their world. Oh my. But because you were in a meditative state, because you chose to rebel, you saw those differences. And I am getting that. It's like somebody wanted to look like you, but you were like, honey, we couldn't be any more different. You saw all of that. And because you chose to be honest with yourself. To be honest with yourself. Because I'm not getting that. Maybe you were honest with this person or these people, but Divine wasn't calling for you to be honest with them. Divine was calling for you to see the differences between you. Because they were trying to use energy to influence you, to control you. Because you chose to be honest with yourself, and you said, oh, whoever this High Priestess of Fire was, it could be a fire sign, doesn't have to be, and it doesn't have to be a woman either. It could be a male. It could be a man, okay? A male, female, non-binary, it doesn't matter. But this was a person who was really pushing for you to be with them. And that's why they didn't get you. Because you know what? Your energy is legit. So if somebody were to like have you in their world, they would need to attract you. They can't push you. You can't push a person into your world. You see what I'm saying? They had the energy messed up. They were trying to push you, push, do this, do that. Hey, and then don't I look good? You know, it's like that energy, like flaunting themselves, thinking that they're like, come hither. But really, they were just pushing you away. That's why this complicated card is coming through. It really was complicated because they had the energy wrong. In order to have somebody like you in their world, they would have to attract you with true, genuine, honest energy. And that's what they didn't do. And you peeped that. You saw through their false energy. You saw what was hidden. Well, it wasn't hidden to you, but they were trying to hide it. And so for that reason, you have true fulfillment. And this fulfillment is coming in the way, in part as your 10 of Cups. It's coming to you as your healing. It's coming to you as this Wheel of Fortune. True destiny. Things are moving in the right direction. 30-30 on the timer. Here's the thing. However these people treated you, or this person that was trying to lure you into something, I'm getting that for some of you, this is a relationship that they were trying to push you into. How do you push you into? When really they needed to attract you, but they don't have that energy where they can truly attract someone. They try to get everything that they get through control. So it was pushing when they should have been not pulling, but like attracting, right? For some of you, it's a relationship, but for some of you, this is a society. This is a cult that they wanted you in. A cult. And for some of you, it could have ties to a lot of the things that are headlines in the news these days, that are being blown up, exposed as they should be. Your vision is on point. Now, they wanted your vision to be rigid. Oh, the next card is like, whoa. They wanted your vision to be rigid. But you see that moon? You have the power of the full moon in your third eye. There could be Cancerian energy here, okay? Also, though, you know, because the moon rules Cancer. But also the moon card is Pisces, so there could be Piscean energy here. They wanted your vision to be rigid because there's something very forbidden that they did not want you to know about or see. 3222 on the timer. There's something that they did not want you to see. This situation, this experience has transformed you into a warrior. I'm hearing you fight for the right things. You know when to fight, and you know when to just be like, you know what I mean? I'm hearing your responses are very appropriate. They're on point. But you're a warrior for people to be themselves. This individuality, well, Aries came through before. There's a lot of Aries energy here. Oh. But also Aquarius with the rebel. One reason why you're so successful is because you're listening. There were things that this person or these people were saying that you were like, it's like, okay, you know how like when a person is telling a story, I got a fan, y'all. You know when a person is telling a story and they're getting real detailed. They're telling all the details and you're just kind of listening. You might ask a question here or there, right? But at some point, you hear them say something that they didn't realize they said. And it's maybe a detail where you're like, wait a minute. 5 minutes ago, you said you went left. Now you're saying you went right? Because a lot of times when people do this, they circle around and they kind of tell the same thing over and over again, but they don't realize that they're doing that. And when they're doing that, they're switching up the quote-unquote facts. And so you start listening, and then you start noticing other things that don't add up. And so you just listen. You know, you're not like, as soon as you hear something that doesn't line up, you're not like, well, wait a minute, I thought you said, and you could be, you'd have every right to be like that, but you just keep listening because you realize that this person, as you display, not necessarily more confidence in them, but they take it as that. With you not questioning them, they think that you have confidence in them. So then you choosing to just listen and not challenge them, it actually makes them feel more relaxed. So they're actually feeling more relaxed to keep talking and bury themselves in their own lies. You're spotting this out. You're like, okay. And then you might be like, okay, so tell me more about this. And then it's another lie. There's something about that here where however it is that you listen to people, it naturally relaxes them, it calms them. And so if someone, that always is a good thing. Because if a person has positive intentions, then your energy relaxes them so that they are in a good space and can communicate effectively. But it also works if it's with a liar. Because if you're talking with a liar, your energy just makes them feel so confident in their own lies that they just lie even more. And you're just like, And each time they lie, it's another nail in the coffin. You're like, I know exactly who you are. So there's something about your reaction to this person or these people that was like, it gave them this sense of boldness to really show their truth. And that's a really big deal because they were working very hard to keep things hidden. That moon card came out. I didn't pull so many cards now. Okay. They were working really hard to hide the truth from you. But because your vision is clear, extremely accurate, you knew what it was. Yeah. So there's somebody now who's wishing to be in your world. They want to be, I'm hearing, back in your world. So maybe at some point in time, this person was allowed in to some extent, but you have completely let go. And because of that, you've transformed. So this is also confirmation that the distance that you've created between you and this person or these people, it has allowed you to do the work that you needed to do. So if you ever start feeling like, you know, because sometimes when we get to a certain place energetically, we're like really confident and everything is peaceful and very quiet. And then there's this resurgence of someone knocking on your door, or you might have them blocked, so they might not be able to text you, but they might text or send something through, or they might send something from another number if they know that you have them blocked. So Divine is just reminding you that your tenacity, your willingness to stay committed to your goals and to keep working on you is what's going to protect this 10 of Cups that you have here. And the Wheel of Fortune that came through, all of your blessings are protected as you remain true to the boundaries that you've set and committed to the boundaries that you've set. Something definitely here about lust, okay? So that energy is here. I don't really feel a need to tap into that because you know the story. It could be lust, it could be greed, but I do definitely get the energy of like physical temptation here. Somebody was trying to tempt you in a physical way to reel you in. I kept hearing, come hither, come hither. So there's something there about that. But I'm also getting, as I'm seeing this Sorrow card here, which was the first card that we pulled, giving in to their temptation or their lures, you know, taking the bait would have kept you in this space of sorrow and stress. But you chose to do what is right for you. And I was about to say what was right for you, but it was like it just came out what is right for you, because this is a message to not doubt your boundaries. Sometimes boundaries can be adjusted in a way where we let a person in if we see that they've made positive, consistent change that is reinforced over a long period of time. Then we can take our boundaries and kind of be like, okay, I'll let it down a little bit. Okay, you doing good? Okay, we'll let it down a little bit. You know, there are times for that. Not nearly as many as when we have to keep our boundaries up or even increase them, right? That's usually what we have to do on the spiritual path, all right? But there are times where we can adjust our boundaries to let a person in, but that is not what's coming through here. It's like, don't doubt your boundaries. They are legit, they are on point. And there's something so dark, and I'm hearing hideous, about what's at the root of all of this, what they wanted to reel you into. I'm getting like a ring of people, an organization, like something very, very hidden, that because of your vision, I'm sure you've seen psychically into some of these things. So this is just confirmation from you, from you. You might be getting other confirmations from spirit, okay? But yeah, your psychic vision is a gift. And divine is saying, believe what's coming through. Those dreams you have, believe them. Those flashes, those visions that you believe them. Those lies that you detected when you were hearing these people drone on and on, believe it, okay? Like, don't believe the lies, believe that they are lies, you know? Yeah, you're on point. You are definitely on point. Okay, let's end with an African Gods Oracle. Thank you, Spirit. I'm very grateful for all of this beautiful energy that's coming through for you. And I love how it is a direct result of the choices that you've made, the wisdom that you've chosen to align with. Spirit, what's coming through for this beautiful being as we close this reading? If you insist on your price, people will forget your value. If you insist on your price, people will forget your value. I want to read that. 4141 on the timer. Okay, let's read this. This is card 12, which in the tarot is the Hanged Man. So there's something there about a realization that you've made. You've made a lot of realizations as a result of your psychic insight, psychic vision. There might also be someone around you who has realized something about you. I see Ashe. You're the Phoenix rising. Ashe. Okay. This is Obara. Oh, that's... Oh, okay, yeah, it is, but that's card 11. This is card 12, Obara. Okay. The influence of Odu Obara in its negative aspect brings out the most puerile nuances of a personality, reinforcing stubbornness, naivety, and sometimes tyranny when wishes are not met. All of this, in fact, can be defined in a single word: anxiety. By denying our feelings, we delude ourselves into expecting the people around us to keep up. When they're not able to understand our feelings and actions, we get frustrated and flirt with paranoia and depression. Okay, so proud. A tendency to depression, especially due to childhood trauma. You know what I'm getting? Because this is card 12, I'm seeing that there are things about how you, like the expectations that you have of other people, that you realize perhaps sometimes in the past you had a certain level of expectation for people. You might be realizing now that the way that you expected people to interact with you, there are some people who will just never meet that requirement or that expectation. And so you've adjusted your expectations of other people. Because there could have been a time where you expected certain reactions from people or certain interaction or a certain level of respect from others, and you didn't get that, and so that took you to a state of sorrow or of depression, right? So you felt like, oh, well, they should be treating me well, they should be respecting me. They're not, so now I'm sad. You're not allowing other people to influence your vibration in that way anymore, because you realize that certain expectations that you had, they were not able to meet that 44 or 44 on the timer. This is a means of protection for your energy. Also, there's something here about the ebb and flow of financial wealth, that if there was a time where you were not receiving what you were putting in work for, there was a lesson that was being learned there. It could have been a lesson about patience. It could have been a lesson about something being strengthened within your character, so that when you do receive what you've worked for, you are able to maintain it. And there's no threat of mismanaging your finances. There's no threat of not knowing what to do to protect your finances. There's a certain level of protection that you needed, and it had to come from within. It had to come from knowledge that you gained as to how to deal with people, how to interact with people, and what to expect from people. There's something that in the past you expected people to just simply respect because that's how you show up. That's how you show up. There are certain things that people would never there are certain things that you would never do to a person that other people ended up doing to you. But you're not allowing that to take you into a depressed state anymore. You're realizing that that's them, that's not you. But also there's something that's changed within you that is going to attract more respect. It's like a strength of character. All of this healing that you've done, it's reflected in your energy now. It's something that people are able to pick up on. And so now there are certain things that people will not try with you that are very disrespectful, simply because they know that there's a strength about you that they don't want to challenge. But even if they were to try, you have the knowledge now, the experience to set boundaries so that you're protected in a way that you were not protected before. Okay? Ashe. Thank you, Spirit. I'm so grateful, Divine, for these messages that came through. And beautiful being, thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. I appreciate you. And I hope you got something good out of these messages, whether it was clarity or insight or just some good vibes. I love you. And I wish you peace. I wish you joy and so many blessings. Take care.